Benedict, what does this all mean for EU citizens in Britain?
They will get no preferential treatment when the UK leaves. So as soon as Brexit is really implemented and comes into force, EU citizens will no longer benefit from the free movement access policy that has been instituted since, well, for many years and since the UK became an EU member. So we heard it from the Prime Minister herself, and this has been a long time coming, this announcement on immigration. She clearly says there will be a priority given to high-skilled workers. So there is concern that low-skilled workers, where there is already a shortage in this country for care, for hospitality, for construction workers, will become worse. That is a real concern, if not an alarm, also of certain companies here who've already registered, well, their disapproval of this announcement. Now, interesting that the Prime Minister, Theresa May, at the annual party conference on the eve of her big speech, did not think that she could leave this announcement on immigration to her current Foreign Secretary, a certain Jeremy Hunt. And in fact, it's an ex-Foreign Secretary, a certain Boris Johnson, who drew crowds in a packed hall, his first appearance at this annual party conference in a fringe event, and where he heavily, once again, criticised Chequers, the Chequers deal, that plan and agreement that the Prime Minister is pushing through. Let's listen to Boris Johnson.
What the Chequers proposals show is that the United Kingdom, for all its power and might and network of influences around the world, for all its venerable parliamentary history, was unable ultimately to take back control. And instead of reasserting our ability to make our laws, the UK will be effectively paraded in manacles down the Rue de la Loi like karatekas.
Paraded in manacles. Now, we know he's vying for the Prime Minister's job, although he did pay lip service to the Prime Minister in his conclusion. Did he convince the Hall?
He convinced the Hall, but then that wasn't difficult because they queued up for hours to come. But there is such hype before an event like this. It was felt that this was not at all an outright bid for the leadership. And the problem for Boris Johnson, some feel that he has peaked, that he's missed his moment. The problem, in a sense, for him is that he is not popular with the parliamentary party, with MPs, for example. And he is, however, extremely popular with the grassroots, with Conservative Party members. He was careful, as you alluded there, to say that he wasn't trying to go for the Prime Minister's job. He said actually that the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, in his speech yesterday was correct in his forecast, because Philip Hammond said that Boris Johnson, would never be Prime Minister. And he said he wasn't trying for that, and that was true. However, some would say that he protests too much. But a packed event, yes, he convinced the Hall, but what effect will he really have? So let's see what happens in Theresa May's speech tomorrow. You'll remember that last year she had a coughing fit, could barely speak, despite being given throat pastels by Philip Hammond, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, that she was handed a P45, so you're fired notice, by a protester who'd got into the conference, a breach of security, and, to cap it all, that the letters of the Tory slogan had fallen off behind her. I don't think she can top that this year. And in fact, she will probably be taking lots of throat pastels, many glasses of water, and I think resting as much as possible in keeping with her advisor's advice now, and that she will hope to give, well, what is a really unifying speech. But there's no doubt that Boris Johnson does have a lot of admirers, some within the Conservative Party and very many amongst the grassroots. So let's see where this takes us and what the Prime Minister announces or does not tomorrow.
I had forgotten about the coughing fit.